Hi everyone, it's your friendly ex-Muslim. I was reading a book, James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And interestingly, he gets to a chapter where he talks about hand washing in Pakistan. He mentions that actually in Pakistan, there was an initiative to get people to wash their hands, and how the effects of this hand washing actually had a huge change. And it made me think, we've heard this before, we've heard this from atheists, that how come religions just didn't teach people to wash their hands? Well, Islam does teach you to wash your hands, right? 5 times a day, wash your hands, right? Well, sort of, not quite. Now, let's talk about this. Let's look at hand washing and the effects of hand washing. Now, this is a World Health Organization document, and it's interesting that it talks about 5 critical times to wash your hands. Before preparing food, before eating, before feeding a child, after handling feces and diapers, and after using the washroom. Okay? It's interesting that there's 5 times. That's a miracle of Islam, right? 5 times. Oh. Now, the interesting thing is, this is not how hand washing in Islam works, because with Islam, at least at the time of Muhammad, there was a communal water, right? There was this bucket of water, this container of water that Muslims would reuse for doing the wudu. So I wanted to show some hadith about wudu to give you an idea about what this is and how this used to be. So for example, Prophet said, don't urinate in water, in still water, and then perform wudu from it. So basically, one of the sources of wudu water could be like still water, not necessarily like a tap or a river. It could be. It also could be just water that's, still water in like a bucket or like a fountain or whatever, like the photo I showed. And then clearly it shows here that the Prophet forbade that the male should perform ablution with the water left over by the female. So it's talking about reusing water. Now I don't know why it matters why you can't reuse water from a woman. That's weird. We all have the same germs and stuff. But of course, this has nothing to do with germs, right? And you can see they're clearly reusing water. Now I'm going to show you another one, and here's another reference to the same hadith. Then there's another one I want to show you. Prophet performed ablution in a vessel made of brass. So he had a vessel, a container made of brass, and he would take water from that with his hand, slurp it into his nose, blow it out, right? And then the next person would come. And there's even hadith that talk about the companions reusing his wudu water and drinking it. So I'm not talking about that here. I'm just talking about the normal wudu, okay? And there's even some references to so-called miracles where the Prophet put his hand in a container and like more than 1,000 people did wudu from that container. Okay, so supposedly there's 1,000 people that did wudu from one container. Now again, my point is not to argue whether or not there was this weird miracle, but the point is, yes, you're reusing water that people all put their hands in. Sure, you can also pour the water. In some cases, you're gonna have like a leather skin or something. They'll pour the water, and in other cases, there'll be like a container, like a brass vessel, and they're all putting their fingers in it, right? He put his hands in that vessel and told the people to perform wudu. When I saw water springing from between his finger, to all perform wudu. So there you go. Here's another example. They're all taking wudu from the same container. Here's another example. He put his hand in the pot, and they all took water. Okay. So I think the point has been made. Prophet visited us, we brought water for him in a brass vessel for his ablution, meaning wudu, and he performed it. So clearly, this is not a cleanliness thing. This is a spiritual, so-called spiritual thing. Nothing to do with being clean. Everything to do with preparing your mental state for prayer, right? And in another case, it says that he took a bath, then he performed wudu, and then had a bath with the water left over from the wudu. So that's a weak hadith. But anyways, I think I made my point, right? The point of wudu is ritual ablution. It's not physical hand washing for 30 seconds with soap, anything like that. But it's interesting that the 5 times, not 5 times a day, but before these key moments, makes all the difference in the world. Couldn't it have been the case that, like, let's talk about what are the effects of religion not teaching hand washing. In this Dawn newspaper article, Aida Girma mentions that globally 1.8 million children below the age of 5 die each year from diarrheal diseases and pneumonia. In Pakistan, Respiratory infections and diarrheal diseases contribute 8% and 6% of total deaths every year, affecting mainly children under 5. This is tragic to say the least. Every child has a right to live, and a simple act of hand washing with soap and clean running water during critical times could save lives. Right? It may help prevent skin and eye infections and save the lives of millions of children. Now, in this Muslim country, Pakistan, there's a lack of hand washing, and it's associated with a high stunting rate due to repeated episodes of diarrhea, which impacts on a child's cognitive skills for his or her entire life. This is like horrible, right? According to the 2018 National Nutrition Survey, more than 20 million people in Pakistan do not wash their hands with soap and clean water after using the latrine, while more than 60 million don't wash their hands after handling children or after changing the diapers, and so on. Now, the point of this video is not to pick on Pakistan. The point of this video is to show how if Islam is this religion of cleanliness and it's a religion that encourages hand washing. In fact, I even heard Sheikh Yusuf Estes say that doing the wudu protects you from anthrax because you're washing water in your nose and the anthrax glows in your nose or something, like this biological weapon or whatever, illness, right? And it's like really, just, this is something that could have saved millions of lives of children just by 5 simple steps. Wash your hands after using the washroom. Wash your hands after handling baby diapers. Wash your hand. In fact, they didn't even have diapers back then. Wash your hand before eating. You know, simple things that any decent prophet of God should have warned his people. I mean, isn't that the point of Islam and religion in general? One of the points is to improve the quality of our lives, to improve the quality of children's lives, to avoid unnecessary suffering. I mean, this is a type of suffering that, like, if you're talking about stunted children's growth, cognitive deficiencies, we're talking about illness and diarrhea and, you know, all of this suffering for what? Simply because the creator of the universe, aka Muhammad, didn't know that disease spreads through germs, which are all over the place. These little invisible little creatures that are everywhere. He didn't know that, and didn't know that just simply washing your hands with soap and water, the soap basically breaks apart the bacteria so that it can't make you sick. It kills it, gets rid of it effectively. That's all you need. You don't need antibacterial nonsense. All you need is soap and water, and that is enough. Wudu, the so-called cleansing ritual of Islam, didn't protect any of these children from dying from diarrhea, mostly children, right? More than 80 million people in Pakistan lack access to hand washing stations, right? It's like simple things that this religion could have taught, because what you find is that, you know, Islam claims that it got rid of drinking problems, alcoholism, and all of this stuff just by banning it. People would pour out the alcohol. People would, you know, vomit. Even some of the Sahaba would vomit up the alcohol they drank when it was forbidden. That's what's claimed. Yet, this simple little thing could save millions of lives, hand washing, and it's not done. And I have a couple other things I want to talk about. I'll leave them for other videos. I apologize for not making more videos. I'm a little bit under the weather. I don't know if I got COVID or what. But anyways, I'm a little bit sick. But I hope to upload more videos soon. And I'm going to try to keep them low impact, low editing, just off the cuff, you know, what I'm thinking, so that I can actually get some content out, because there's just no time right now with everything going on. So I do hope that this was interesting. Let me know what you think about this. Should Allah have taught us, Muhammad, should he have taught us hand washing? Is this vital, important fact, 5 important key times? If this was a religious ritual, do you think this could have saved lives? Well, you don't have to think. We know it would have saved lives. If it was a dogma of the religion, you have to wash your hands after doing this or before doing that, well, you'd have to do it. According to Islam, you have to take a bath after having sex. But you don't have to wash your hands after. I mean, you're supposed to wash your hands, yes, but like a lot of this stuff is not, it was not emphasized in a way that actually became part of the rituals of the religion. And I'm not saying that we need religious rituals to tell us these things. I'm just trying to point out how ridiculous it is to claim that this religion actually helps people in ways that matter. In Pakistan, of all places, religious country, Muslim country, nope, didn't help. It's not helping. You need UNICEF. You need the World Health Organization. You need these government organizations that are coming in and trying to help these people, right? And we should help them, but the religion's not helping them, and it's not helping them, and it never helped them. And in Ramadan, it's not helping them either. Fasting from water all day. There's Ramadan right now, so I wish everyone well. Sorry for not uploading. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do some more videos as often as possible. I do miss having this interaction with the comments and doing the live streams. It's been a while. Hope to get into it, some more. But again, been busy with a lot of things going on right now. My work is super busy as well, and I've been sick. So now that I'm getting better and things are getting better, I will try to upload. I miss you guys. Thank you to all my patrons that have continued to support me, and those of you who are donating to PayPal and other means. And thank you to those of you who comment, like, subscribe, and share my videos. And stay in touch, stay well, and as AP would say, stay away from Islam. Bye for now.